What is going on, guys? Ryan here with another episode of the Dent Digest. It's kind of a unique show today that I'm trying to have, just kind of bringing some light on exactly what is going on in the world and how we're all dealing with it. We do have some bad news, but we're going to get into that a little while. I've got a group of guests here from all over the country, kind of different dent guys and some manufacturers and hail chasers and guys all over the country. So I wanted to kind of get their story, how they're preparing, how they're getting ready for what is going on in the world. I can't believe this is episode number 48. Bonkers. I can't, you poor bastards have really been listening to me for 48 episodes. It was funny because I was sitting today and I was watching episode number 1 and I was like, I really didn't think this thing was going to work. But you know what? It's been fun. Thanks for hanging in on this. And, we got a little change here in my nice new abode. So it's been fun, but I want to get some of these guests on because we're going to try to keep this at a reasonable hour rate. We may go a little over, but it is what it is. So I'm going to bring the first guest on here. We're going to go in opposite order. We're going to pick Mr. Mark Blem. How are you?
Hey, Ryan, how's it going?
Trying to figure it out, just trying to figure it out. How about you?
Same thing. It's been a little bit of a weird time here, but it's been all right.
Yeah.
Good and bad for me.
And if you guys don't know Mark, he's one of the guys over at Blem Tools, the family company of the Blems. They've really been trying to make a push this year. So, they work with me on a project with the shut ups and it's been fun. So you're not a dent guy. You're not a hail chaser. You're just a tool manufacturer. And what I want to do is kind of get your input on the impact on exactly what's going on with this coronavirus. How has it impacted your guys' company?
So it would have been, it was the weekend before last whenever things really started to escalate, I guess, with the whole deal. So it was that weekend, I think, like we didn't get one order, not one, but through the week, this last week, it was actually pretty good. So I feel like for us, some guys are maybe just spending a little bit of time at home and they, still got some cash flow and they ordered a few things, but I think we'll probably decline for sure.
Yeah.
You just don't know. It's day to day. Kind of this time of the year for us, the pre-hail season type area can be hit or miss anyway. So I really don't know yet, but I think a slowdown is inevitable for everybody, not in just PDR, but things are going to slow down for a while for sure.
Yeah. I mean, it's a crazy time here and, it's been pretty hard for me. I've been struggling with, today was our last day of business. Technically in Maryland, we're essential business. My wife is in the medical field and knows quite a bit of what's going on. So I've made the business decision to close our doors. Right now, we're probably in that 2-week timeline. It is what it is. I struggled. It was super difficult for me to make the decision, but I know it's the right thing to do. I don't want to get sick and I don't want my guys to get sick and I don't want to keep spreading it. I want to kind of lower this curve that's going on. So, right. How are you guys preparing? Are you slowing production? Are you kind of just stocking up and getting ready? What is your prediction of how you're going to keep running Blem Tool as this goes on?
So we're open for one. We won't close. We'll be shipping orders, be answering the phone, emails, all that type of thing. So we were really having to play catch up from MTE and just we've done more business. It's picked up.
Because you guys crushed it.
Yeah, it was good. We sold a lot of stuff, and we got new things coming out. We got the shut ups and some tools with Daniel Grom. and Marty's tools. We got quite a few new things that we've added. So really, we are close to being caught up, and honestly, we just kind of need a break. So the timing was not too bad for this thing. So we're just going to take a break from production. We're not gonna work. We've been off pretty much this week. We're just gonna take it as it comes. We don't have any restrictions on our business being able to work, which is a good thing. But we're taking precautions anyway. We're washing our hands. We're sanitizing things, even shipping things, because I know people ask that question. They're like, well, if it can live on a substrate or whatever for 72 hours and you ship, you know what I mean? It's just weird. It's just odd time.
I got a box today from Anson, and it was sitting on the porch, and I literally had a rubber glove, took the box, threw it out in the sun, sprayed it with Lysol, and let it sit there for like 5 hours. You just don't know. You just
don't know. So it's just going to be odd. I think, some companies, you're going to have good days, good weeks, bad weeks. I don't really know. It's been steady for us. It's not really just totally tanked off yet. So we're ready for that. The plan is, we can weather a pretty good downtime.
Yeah.
I know that, but as far as manufacturing, we're just going to take a little bit of time off. For one, my kids are out of school. There's no baseball, no softball, no basketball.
And that's really killing the Blem family, because
it's killing us.
Athletic family. So,
but at the same time, for me, it's a blessing because I get to spend all this time with my kids that I never would have got to. But we hate not going to, the events and being busy and all that. So there's good and bad for us. But we're all, we're just try to stay optimistic and positive, and it's just hard. It's hard for us, my dad, my brother, and me. All we talk about it. It's hard for us to just wrap our head around this whole thing because,
of course,
it's the thought of being shut down like till for even 30 more days. I just can't get that through my head.
Yeah.
So.
Well, as a direct tool manufacturer, I'm sure it's going to be a little bit. The good thing with you guys is it's a family business, and you kind of have grown a lot this year. So you've kind of got a little bit of a leaning pad to where you can kind of relax.
Right.
But some of these guys are, the next guest that I have on is a dent guy and a tool manufacturer, so he's getting a double whammy. So I wanted to get a direct tool manufacturer to see how they're preparing and kind of getting ready for what could happen, because we're in that unknown part of the world right now.
I guess, down the road, I don't know if it really gets bad, which is a possibility. It's the way things are going. I'm not trying to be negative. It doesn't really look good, but at the same time, if you have plans and you just stay busy doing something, just stay active, keep your mind active. And I was talking to Trey, he said something about being off Facebook. So it's kind of getting hard for me to look at all the stuff about terrible. What's going on. So that kind of gets you down. I just try to do other things. We're lucky. We live in the country. I'm on 20 acres, so we can go outside and be outside, and that really helps a lot. I know it's different for guys, in the city and stuff, but I don't know. We're not going anywhere that we don't need to. We're trying to make one trip, to the grocery store.
Yeah.
We haven't been out. And then again, I'm trying to take business-wise, take precautions, to everybody be clear of this deal for when we do ship orders, because it's uncertain. And all I can tell you is we're open. We're taking all the necessary precautions, shipping things and sanitizing, washing hands, all of that stuff. So
there's one shout out I want to give while I have him up there right now. Matt Phones. He works for a competitor dent company locally in this area. And we all communicate here. So, he saw my post today that I closed the doors, and he reached out and was just like, hey, I know it was a hard decision, and just was like, look, I'm here for you if you need to talk. And just, it's super nice that we are very lucky to have this type of dent community, to where I was talking to Trey on the phone the other day for like 30 minutes, just talking about what's going on and how things are being handled. And we are very, very lucky that we have this type of support system out here, because some of these decisions we're going to have to make are very difficult. So we are very lucky. I know me and you have talked a couple times on the phone and just trying to say, hey, how's things going? What's the game plan? So hang in there, Mark. I'm going to keep you on here for like the rest here so we can get some more input from you. But I appreciate you getting out here and kind of putting out what's going on in Misery, Missouri.
Yeah, no problem, man. Thanks for having me.
Mr. Dent Reaper.
I didn't know it was going to be me. I thought it was going to be somebody else. Anyway, happy to be here. Thanks for having me. And what's happening?
What are you drinking right now?
We got what we call the Bingo Bango.
Oh, geez.
A little whiskey on the rocks. This is not Bullet whiskey, although I do like Bullet. This is Maker's Mark in a glass with a bullet in it. I can get that.
I can't see a darn thing. Your internet is really good tonight.
As always. That's how I trick people into believing I'm a good-looking guy.
So you're a dent guy, Gray Duck Dent Repair, and you're a tool manufacturer, or a tool builder, however you want to say it, tool designer. How are you preparing in your dent business? Let's start with that.
So, quite frankly, with my wholesale accounts, I've been checking in on them, calling them, talking to them. And, last week, all of them, I went in personally, and they were all like, dude, you are the first person we have seen all day. So that was a pretty good indicator to me that things were going to be slow. I've had some really weird retail calls. I got one for a pontoon today.
They're not fun.
No, I've done it. Not my favorite. And this one, I don't know. Probably not going to happen. Anyway, so after that call, I promptly paused many of my Google AdWords campaigns. I'm just trying to get done some of the things that I've always wanted to get done, but never had the time to get done. So I'm on day 3 of cleaning and reorganizing my garage. Not funny about that.
That's totally funny. That's such a honeydew list, dude. That's such a honeydew list.
That's all right. But yeah, I just hopefully things are going to work out and we're going to get back to work before too long, and I don't have to take advantage of any of these emergency SBA loans. But
the good thing I've been saying to a couple techs that have called me, and they're like, oh, I got a lot of phone calls today from my post, and a lot of guys are like, I can't believe you're closing. And I'm like, dude, it's the right thing to do. It really is. With what's going on, it's the right thing. But the good thing with this is we're all in the same shit box. We're all in the same boat, no matter if you're a millionaire or if you're homeless. We're all in the same boat, dude. We're all going to come out of this at the same race, at the same point, and just say, hit the road the minute it opens up. You know what I mean? It's just whoever does the preparation for when that road opens.
True enough.
You can hear the helicopter, can't you? Look at that.
Yeah. What are you?
You're going to hear a couple of those. We're in line of this run from a military base to New York City, so they've been nonstop here. So you're going to hear some. I'm sorry about that. I can't really do much. But anyway, what about the tool business? Have you seen sales go down? What's your take on that?
It's a little bit slower than is typical, which kind of what Mark brought up, like between MTE and April is kind of limbo time anyway, because anybody that was really hot to trot, they saw what they wanted to see at MTE. They got what they needed to get. They're kind of waiting for busy season for money to start flowing before they're going to really start buying stuff. So March, beginning of April, things are kind of slow generally anyway. Yeah. So it's hard to gauge. I've had a few orders here and there, and A1's been great. Talked to John a couple times here in the last couple weeks, and they're still open and doing everything they can to keep things flowing in the right direction. Yeah, like I say, it's really hard to gauge just because of the time of year that it is.
It is. It's kind of a slow start to the hail season, so that's that doesn't help anything. But maybe the timing's right. You know what I mean? All these guys could be away from home, and they could be doing these shutdowns. So
yeah, that would be terrible.
How are you preparing? What are you preparing for when? This whole thing.
I've just been doing a lot of back end website stuff, SEO stuff, just doing some of that stuff. And I just went mental, and then I ordered these shelving units for my garage, and I have been out in my garage literally for the last 2 days. I got one day left.
That was from your wife. Dude.
Yeah.
So, well, I saw Toledo's podcast, and we were, he was going over the Google My Business, and the sad part with Google My Business, they've limited a lot of the stuff you can do right now just because of.
Yeah, they are throttling all that down.
So just keep plugging away. I know YouTube and Facebook, getting this on and rocking for Facebook for YouTube has been an absolute nightmare, because for 2 days, it's been running as uploading thumbnail for 2 days. So I was hoping it was going to work. I'm still getting some crazy stuff going on in the comments. So, but
that's,
look,
people are commenting in it. There's Chris Dale.
Yeah.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah.
You gotta love Chris. He's in the belly of the beast in New York over there.
He is. It's a scary place to be right now.
Be safe.
I don't know. You're right. So hang on in here. I'm going to bring you back on for the community conversation. And I'm going to bring our next guest on.
Who's it going to be?
Don't know. We're going to have to figure this out. I don't know if this one will fit on the screen. So. This one's going to be a little tight squeeze, so we're going to have to figure this one out. So hang on there, Mr. Vidine. Next guest. What's up, Trey and Hannah?
What's up, Brian?
What's going on?
Same thing. Yeah.
So your mainly thing is hail, correct?
Yeah, that's right.
How are you handling, besides it not really hailing a whole lot, how are you handling sitting at home besides the den animals on your wall?
You want this or you want?
That's all you.
Okay. Well, honestly, we hadn't planned on getting out until about May anyways. Hannah doesn't graduate from her master's until May. So not a whole lot has changed. You're right. There's not a whole lot of hailstorms to chase.
Yeah.
What has changed is our budget.
Of course.
Obviously, we plan on getting out in May. We're planning to get out till June. realistically. So that changes a little bit. Also, what to look forward to. We look forward to, getting on the road. We've been cooped up all winter and we look forward to getting out. So that has definitely put a damper on things. But overall, compared to probably a lot of guys who are chasing currently because they have to, not because they want to, but because they have to go chase. I think we're doing pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, what do you think?
I think you need more coloring books.
Coloring books. So this is one thing I learned tonight was Trey's an avid colorer.
This is no joke. I mean, like, I'm not even joking.
He's an avid colorer. So we're learning, and I can say one thing, I called you the other day.
Yeah.
I saw your Facebook post or Hannah's Facebook post, and I was like, let me just call him. And we talked for like 30 or 40 minutes, and it was real life shit. Like, this is real life stuff going on.
For sure.
So we just kind of just had a really good conversation, and I was like, man, you couldn't ask for better conversation. There was no bullshit. It was just real.
Well, and that's it, and I stand by everything I've said. In the grand scheme of things, this is just a blip. This is just a blip in time. This is not a new way of life. This is just a speed bump. Okay. However, it is far more serious than I think a lot of people are taking it.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that so many people would take it so lackadaisically, or else I may have been a little more serious initially. I was trying to give people hope initially because there's a lot of doom and gloom, which apparently, maybe there should have been a little more of that to take it as serious as it needs to be.
Yeah.
It is serious. I mean, 2%, a 2% death rate in our country is still 7 million people.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the biggest problem that they're having, and I have a little more input just because of my wife.
Sure.
The biggest problem is they can't test people fast enough. So you're getting numbers that are online and on the news. That's just a little portion. There's a lot more, they're learning more and more about this. That's the good thing right now. If you're going to be positive about something, one positive thing is we're in America. We have some of the best medical professors and doctors in the world that are working night and day on this and trying to figure out what it lives on, how long it lives. I just found out today that it lives a few hours on paper.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I mean, that's crazy. So there's a lot of people involved. I still don't think the U.S. was 100% prepared, which I don't know if anybody's prepared for this. There's a couple things of being prepared, medically prepared and business. None of us we saw each other at MTE. We're having a good old time, ready for a great year.
Absolutely.
And this comes in, it's going to be really hard for some people.
That was the Corona.
Yeah.
What was that?
The MTE Corona.
Yeah.
I mean, we thought we still talk about it, but we thought that was surely it because Trey was so sick, tested negative for the flu tests, and it was all the same symptoms, but it clearly wasn't.
This is not it. I mean, I was wrong, and I was wrong to say that initially. I realized I was wrong pretty quick, and this should be taken with the seriousness it deserves.
It should.
That doesn't mean it's going to last forever. It doesn't mean it's going to last forever. So you should take it. I mean, if you have the resources to hire a web designer, anybody who can sit at home and do their work right now, you can get a web designer for nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, nothing. Anybody that can do their job sitting home, you can get really good deals on, and it would help them out tremendously, and because everybody's being laid off.
And I think our big push right now, and when this starts unraveling, is small business. Support small business. And we're all going to have to team together and really coach that and push that. And because that's what we all are. We're all small individual. Unless you're a dent wizard, you're a small company trying to just make a living and enjoy what you do. We all love dents. We do. We love it. Because we wouldn't do this shit if we didn't have to. You know what I mean? Like, really. How are you guys prepared for this? Are you just kind of bunkered down and you're ready to just wait until the storm's over and then go from there? Or what's your game plan?
Our game plan is to wait until consumer confidence comes back. Right now, I'm not leaving Hannah or other responsibilities to. I mean, for safety reasons, it's going to get crazy. It's going to get just a little crazy. When people can't pay their rent and when the checks don't come soon enough, desperate people do desperate things, and I don't want to be here to protect. And I mean, providing is an essential part of doing it, but so is protection. And until we peak as a country and come off that peak, I'm going to be right here. I don't care. We're not going to lose our house. And nothing's going to happen. I'm going to be right here.
That's one good thing I can say about America right now is all these credit companies, mortgage companies. Look, we're going to waive it. We're going to defer your payments. That's 100%. Badass. That's real American people sitting back and saying, I know you're going to struggle and we're going to be there for you. And that's some real stuff, man.
Without a doubt. Being a hell chaser, Ryan, is probably a lot different than in your situation. You're used to trends, but somewhat steady work.
Yeah.
I'm not. I'm used to feast or famine. Hannah's used to feast or famine. And, this is just a time when it's famine. And I think that we'll be able to get through it a lot better.
Yeah, I do. I do too. And the good thing, I think what it's going to do, it's going to be hard for some guys. It's going to be when I don't know how the hell I'm going to sit at home for 2 weeks because I can't even sit at home for Sunday. But what it's going to do is it's going to let you work on your backside of your business.
That's right.
It's going to let you strengthen another part of your brain and make you think differently when you do reopen. Mm-hmm. When you're ready to rock and roll, you're going to know, okay, maybe I am going to do that extra car there and not leave it for tomorrow.
Hungry. Stop being lazy.
Yeah.
And it's not always about the money. There's a lot of guys that are about that dollar. It's not always about the dollar, We're having an amazing month here. Probably the best month we've had since August. I hired a new guy like 3.5 weeks ago. He's awesome. He's been doing an amazing job, but it's not always about the money, No,
it's not. Doing the right thing matters. And sometimes doing the right thing matters more than profit or market share or whatever else you're losing. Safety, everything else.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, Hannah's fixing to graduate with her master's and can't walk.
Yeah.
She worked for 2 years very, very hard. We have sacrificed an incredible amount. We have chased late. We have stopped early for 2 years. And the people that were going to come watch her walk can't. Nobody's graduated anything.
Yeah.
And that's sad. That's tough. People can't go to funerals. People can't. No. I mean, this is not just about money or business or profit. This is affecting. This is just like a world war. This is our current
is real life shit.
This is it.
National sacrifice.
It is.
Yes. And Matt Phone says doing the right thing matters.
That's right.
You know what I mean? And that's real. That's real life stuff. The realness of people are gonna come out in this.
Oh yeah.
The good, the bad, and the ugly.
Oh yeah. You're gonna find out exactly who somebody is through this. I promise you.
So I'm gonna pull you guys down for the.
We're weathering out the storm here, though. I will say that.
What was that?
Our little town has been great. We still go to the grocery store. Trey got one comment the other day about he was too happy singing down the aisle because there was.
Well, that's Trey. Jesus, come on.
He did a toilet paper dance in the middle of the meat section.
I did. I was like, toilet paper.
But everyone's still positive. They're supporting local businesses like crazy with the curbside pickups and the stay in, stay local, order out, everything like that. So, it's one day at a time and everyone's in the same boat, like you said.
It is. It's you're gonna live and make the best of what it is. You know what I mean? We got the shameless plug here with the tactical shirt, Mr. Hiley. I'm gonna send you a bill in the mail. So I'm going to bring our next guest on. I'm going to bring you guys down, and then we're going to do the whole conversation and keep rolling from there. We got quite a bit of people in here, so just bear with us. Got our next one on. Mr. Matt from Get a Grip.
Hey.
What's up, buddy?
I'm hanging in there.
Yeah. How's business in California?
It's definitely showing. It's slowed down quite a bit.
Yeah.
At least more than half. Phone's not ringing as much. Maybe a couple calls a day. But surprisingly, me personally, I'm doing, a few retails. Most of my stores, I do a mixture of wholesale and retail, and you'd be surprised. There's actually a couple of my stores still running. The sales departments are still open.
Yeah.
And then most of the other ones, they completely closed the sales, and they've kept parts and service open, but just a really small skeleton, crew of guys at these stores. But get the precautionaries. It's funny though. I did a job about 10 days ago or so. A customer, went to their home, and they were an older couple, and they didn't seem phased at all. They wanted to shake my hand, and I kept my distance, and they're like, "Oh yeah." And then coincidentally, I actually had another car to do for them. I think Monday this week, and their personality completely changed.
Yeah.
So they definitely, were taking a little bit more serious the second time I came by. It was definitely a difference. They had, wipes and gloves and all that stuff like that. So
yeah,
it's weird. I mean, this is like the first time, any of us have gone through this. Everyone always says that. They keep repeating like, yeah, I've never seen anything like this. I don't think anyone's ever lived through anything like this.
I was talking to my mom, and she's like, in the beginning, she was kind of like, what this is with the grocery stores and running out of food and running out of toilet paper. And she's like, this is kind of like when we had the gas shortage back in the day, when in Maryland, they used to take your odd and even license plate numbers and odd and even days, and you could go get gas. And, she was kind of bringing it to that. But she called me the other day, and she's like, I'm just worried about you. You got to be careful. And I'm like, Mom, I'm rubber gloved, 99% wipes. I mean, I'm ridiculous with it. All my guys are wearing rubber gloves, social distancing all the way around, wiping every car down with 91% alcohol. And, it's real out there. You guys gotta really take your precautions, and just be safe. The good thing about wearing gloves, I'm not a big, I do wear some Guard Tech gloves when I'm doing some heavy pushes. But man, my fingernails look really good from wearing rubber gloves for the last 2 weeks. It's been amazing. That's one positive. I'm trying to be positive about rubber gloves.
I mean, yeah, I wipe down the cars, with the door handles and the door, wipe down. You got the keys, the windows, the buttons for the windows and the door latches.
Yeah. So how about Get a Grip? What's going on with that? I know you did quite a bit of stuff that I remember you were telling me you were in China watching the show one time. How are you? How's that end of the business? What's your game plan there?
Still getting a few orders, they're coming in, but yeah, I wipe everything down, but there's still people making orders. It's definitely slowed down though.
Yeah.
Kind of like John said, it's kind of the slower part of the season though too. But it's definitely wholesale too. On sales has slowed down.
Yeah.
And I still honestly, I'll get up in the middle of the night to use the restroom or something, and I'm like, you're half asleep, and this is really happening, because you almost forget, when you're in the days, you're like, whoa, this is not a dream. Like it's I don't know if you ever went through an earthquake, but here in California, it's been a while, but when you have an earthquake, for that whole day or the next day, you just don't feel right. It's a really strange thing, knowing that you don't have control ultimately. It shows you how small, that how much power we don't have.
Oh yeah.
And it feels like the same kind of a thing. It has that similar, situation where you just feel unease. I mean, the reality is, it's just the unknown is really what's creating. Everyone reacts different to it. You got people that are, are panicking, and you got other people that are completely the opposite. Act like there's nothing wrong. So, it's just not enough information. It's that uncertainty. Yeah,
you know, the
like,
unknown
every day, a little, and you're hearing things from different people and different, and it's just nobody knows everything yet. So it's a tough time.
Yeah.
This is definitely going down, folks. This is wild.
It really is, man. It's
crazy time right now.
It's gonna get worse. Then it's gonna get worse, and it's gonna get worse before it gets better. Right. But I think it's
we're still in the starting. I think it's still.
Oh yeah, this is the first phase.
I'm not one of those dooms guy messaging. I'm not gonna like doomsday kind of a thing, but I like to just put things at a longer time frame. So
yeah,
you say 2 weeks, I'm counting on 3 months.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Weeks, great, but
I'm
mentally prepared for August.
I'm thinking June. June, July is what I'm really thinking. I'm putting it at 2 weeks as now, but I think in 2 weeks the shit's gonna hit the fan. So
not until the numbers start plateauing, we're really not anywhere close to coming out of this. There's just not enough testing. If they had more testing available, it'd be a whole different situation.
Yeah,
put a lot more people at ease. We just hanging in there. It's a trip. It
is. Well, hang in there. I want your input here on the next few things, and I'm going to bring all the guests on and go through some of the bad news we have, and then we're going to get into the positive stuff and just kind of help some of these people that are in here really get through it. So we're going to bring everybody on. So I do have some news for the industry here. We've got one of our Dent family. We got the Reaper that's all prepared. Look at that.
Hey, if we're all going to be together, I just want to take all the proper precautions.
The Reaper he's ready. It's got that N95 mask with the bullet in the drink. So we've got one of our Dent family guys, one of our PDR family that has gone down with the coronavirus. I'm good friends with him. We talk all the time, and he called, and he, just was having a hard time. And, we talked through it, and today he reached out and he's like, "Hey, I know you got your show. There's not a way in hell I can come on the show, but I want to get it out there, how serious this thing is." And it's, I don't know. I had an episode a couple weeks ago with Benny Miracle and Keith, the elite PDR guys. And Keith was in Puerto Rico having a good time. I'm sure you guys saw some of his Instagram and his Snapchat. And, he was kind of like, Corona's got nothing on this. What was that?
I said he looks good in a Speedo.
He does look good in a Speedo. But the Corona caught up to him. So he wanted to get out here and kind of just really tell you what's going on and the real life end of it. So he wanted me to play this clip. I'm going to give him a call. We're not going to get him on the camera, but we're going to get his call. But he wanted me to play this clip through the line. So hang on one second.
This is Patty calling from Mainline Health, and I'm calling from the Caribbean Communication Center. I have some test results. Could you verify your date of birth for me?
1/13/88.
That's you. All right, we've got some test results here, and it says that
Positive.
Yeah. It was detected. So somebody already called you?
No,
So yeah, he can you imagine getting that phone call, knowing what's going on? So I want to bring Keith on and let him kind of go through what he's been going through. I know there's probably some other things that are going on with other guys, but this is the first one that I know personally. So I wanted to get him on and just kind of go through and this is real life stuff, man. This is going to wreck families across the world, or have already wrecked. I mean, look at Italy is just taking a crush. So let me get Keith on the phone here. Keith.
Hello.
Hey, buddy. How are you?
I'm hanging in there.
You're live here. You got the gang of guys here. So what's going on? How are you feeling?
Today I felt actually the best I've felt in 9 days.
Okay.
I been moving a lot more. Went from praying that I don't die to being able to move again, and just hanging in there, you know.
You did travel internationally. I mean, technically Puerto Rico's not internationally, but what was your original thoughts on, when you traveled? Were you worried about getting it? What was your whole thought process there?
Well, no, at first I was like, oh, I'm invincible. I'm not this isn't gonna phase me.
And if you guys don't know Keith, Keith is a war vet and he is a bad dude. So, I've got Trey in here laughing. He's like, I know that dude.
Yeah, he's a badass.
So you thought you were invincible. You go to Puerto Rico. You were rocking the baddest Speedo I've ever seen.
Oh yeah, that was my that was probably my downfall. I put it in the universe like that, man, and then I end up on a freaking statistic list.
So how did you feel? Like, how did the symptoms come on? Did it come on like a cold? What was your? Sorry, I'm opening.
No, you're good. So basically, I went to Puerto Rico, had a killer time with my family. Flew back as they were shutting down Puerto Rico, just in time. And basically, when I got home, I was good. I totally felt fine. I had to work the very next day. I showed up to work a little late because I got home at like 4 a.m. Woke up at around 11, worked a 16-hour day. And then as soon as I got home, broke out with 102.4, I think, fever. And that was pretty much the sign right there that was the end of my game. So I instantly called everybody that I was in contact with, said, hey, you guys need to get tested. And so I reached out to everybody at that point and said, hey, if I've been in direct contact with you, you need to chill because I don't know what this is. And I've never had a sickness like this before. And if something's going to drop me like that, I'm not the biggest dude in the world, but I've been through a lot. And if this is going to drop me like this, I'm going to err on the side of caution and just say, hey, you know what, this is probably the COVID. And sure enough, I went in and got tested. They told me 4 to 6 days to receive my results. By the time I made it to the hospital, I had 103.4, 103.5 temperature. I was monitoring my temperature every 3 hours, drinking lots of fluid, not really eating much. Just trying to survive, really. But my breaking point was 103.4 temperature and not being able to breathe. So, at that point, go ahead.
Where I have Ventus Rios, and he is from Puerto Rico. What part of Puerto Rico and when?
So where I think I can't really say where I got it. The Department of Health asked me where I thought I got it. I was in Old San Juan, and this would have been on a Saturday in Old San Juan, and I was down at the clubs,
just clubbing,
and just clubbing, having a good old time, and as you should do in Puerto Rico, and basically, I was around too many people, I think, and that's probably where I contracted it, or when they were shutting down Puerto Rico, that island, the influx of people that were going through the security section was phenomenal. Like, it was crazy because people wanted to get out of there. They're American citizens. They don't want to be trapped on an island. At that point, they didn't restrict any kind of flights. So basically, we got on our plane and then made it home. But I'm really unaware of where I got it. But if I had to put a bet on it, Old San Juan is where I would say I got it. They did have 2 cases that were in Old San Juan. But again, I couldn't tell you exactly where I got it.
Yeah.
Social distancing wasn't a thing in Puerto Rico. And I didn't take it seriously either. It was just one of those things where I just, I didn't have any regard for it. It was just something that wasn't going to play a role in my life. And it turned out to be a bigger role than I ever thought. So,
real life shit.
Yeah, definitely. I basically would tell anybody, all the precautions you're taking, take it a step further, because it's a luck of the draw, I feel like, on your immune system if you're going to be able to live through this, because it hurt really bad.
And you said it today when we talked on the phone. You were like, you shut down? Like, you were shocked that I closed.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I mean, because we got guys that are, that have been tested. They put tested negative, that are still working, and they're hitting it hard. But I mean, at the same time, they got gloves, masks, eye protection, everything, just so that they can keep going. And then they're taking all the necessary precautions. We don't really deal with too many people just because of in our line of work that we actually work in. We deal with essentially one person, and that's it.
Yeah. Now, Manny's asking, did anyone else in your family get it?
No. So I speak with my dad daily. He checks on me, calls me 10 times a day just to make sure I'm still alive. I'm grateful to have him in my corner because he's definitely helped me get through this. It's been hard, really hard. But no, to answer your question, it's no. Everybody's been safe.
I've got a couple guests. I'm sure you've been watching. Any of you guys have any questions for Keith?
Man, oh man. Well, so you kind of already answered it, but Tanner and Benny are both negative, so that's a good thing. Yep.
They're both negative. Tanner right now is pretty much running the show. My dad, he's in Kansas at the moment. They have no known cases, which is great. Because all my, I got my little brother who's also in Kansas. And they're just, taking all the appropriate measures to stay safe.
Hey, Keith, question for you. This is Matt. What kind of medication did they are they giving you, if any?
So basically at this point, so when I initially went in, there was nothing they could do. They tested me inside my vehicle. They told me to go home. I had a temperature of 103.4 in front of the people, and it kept rising. But she pulled the thermometer out of my mouth because that was enough for her, and basically said, "Hey, look, there's nothing we can do for you. You need to go home, quarantine, and wait for your results." So at that point, there was nothing that they gave me. I got a phone call. I've been on the phone with multiple doctors, generally about 5 to 10 calls a day, with the health department, my personal care provider, and various other people. Basically, they're going to start me out on a Z-Pack tomorrow because it's been shown to help gentlemen and various other people in New York survive it. And because I'm basically on day 9 right now, and I haven't had a fever for 24 hours, but I have all the rest of the symptoms still. And some days are better than others. But to answer your question, they gave me an inhaler so I could breathe. The inhaler did nothing, and that's albuterol. They gave me this stuff called, I don't know how to pronounce it, but Benzonate, benzonate, I think. And it's 100 milligrams. It's basically like a cough suppressant. It does absolutely nothing. I had some leftover, and you probably shouldn't do this, but leftover antibiotics. I just took those on my own because at that point I'm desperate and wanted to not feel what I was feeling. So I took some amoxicillin for the last 6 days. I don't know whether it's helping or not. At this point I would say not that it's not helping. But like I said, they're going to start me out on a Z-Pack tomorrow and see if that's going to help me at all. But those are the medications. Tylenol, it's done absolutely nothing. They did say take over-the-counter ibuprofen, but I've read a whole bunch of stuff where it says ibuprofen heightens the symptoms, so I have took it upon myself not to take that.
I actually have one question, Ryan, for Keith. Do you have any underlying conditions, such as a history of asthma or smoking, vaping, anything lung-related? Smoke a lot of weed? If you don't answer that, I mean, just anything.
No, I'm a perfectly healthy individual. I rarely drink. I drink once a year, MTE.
Right.
And that's it.
That's it.
Oh yeah, I'm not a weed smoker or any of that. I'm a workaholic.
Yeah, I was just curious. What they put you on is interesting. I actually have asthma. I've had asthma my whole life. So when you said albuterol didn't help you, that was very concerning for me because usually albuterol does. So
yeah.
I'm very happy on a Z-Pack. I can tell you that. That's been very, very much shown to work. I mean, Z-Pack cures a lot of stuff that's very serious. In the military, So, right. I wish the very best for you, man.
Hey, Keith.
I appreciate that.
Hey, Keith, did you come down with that MTE flu? I know I did. And it sounds like Trey also, but
oh, terrible.
So, this was the whole thing. Tanner and I both were sick in December, and I ended up flying home and catching walking pneumonia. And so I was seen at the VA in Portland, Oregon, when I flew home to see my family. Excuse me. And I ended up getting pneumonia, and then they put me on all the medications to get rid of it, and I was good. So I got sick prior to that, and I thought, oh, that's probably, COVID-19. Me and Tanner already had it. And
right.
I was, but we didn't get sick at MTE. So I was like, well, maybe we already got it, maybe this is a fluke. That was absolutely not the case. Oh, and all the people, like, I don't want people to like hear my story and be like, oh my gosh, I got to go get tested. I feel like, if I can say any advice at all would be, knowing your body is going to help. And staying away from people is also going to help. But I honestly feel that if you have COVID-19, you're going to know it.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Well, look, Keith, I get better, bud. Actually, Mr. Vidine's got one. He's pointing his finger at me. So hold on.
One more question. How long are these symptoms supposed to last? I mean, you say you're 9 days in. I've had the flu. It never lasted 9 days. I mean, what are a prognosis?
So what I've been told from a doctor in New York that called me was 20 days is the overall like the longest that it should last. But from what I've gathered so far, I honestly think nobody knows nothing, John. And you know, it's kind of you know, this whole thing was unexpected. Nobody could have really planned for this. And you know, of course, you know, it's just how the cookie crumbles, I guess. You know, some people are going to get it and have minimal symptoms. Some people like me are going to feel like you're going to die. And then there's people who are in the hospital that, you know, are not going to make it, unfortunately.
Well, you're going to be fine. I know this. I'm going to hug you in Vegas or Orlando or Branson, somewhere. We're hugging.
You know, it was crazy. You know, what's crazy is all last year we're saying, damn, there's so many events. You know, every weekend there was an event. I don't know what it's going to be like this year, you know? So, but Keith, yeah, I really appreciate it, man. I appreciate you coming on here, and I know you'll do fine. I know how strong you are. And
absolutely
keep it real and get your ass better.
Oh yeah, I'm hanging in there. You guys have a great night, and I appreciate the phone call.
Thanks, bud.
All right.
Be well, Keith. Love you, brother.
All right, thanks, guys. You guys have a good evening.
Hey, see you, Keith.
Thanks, Keith. See ya.
Bye-bye.
So real life stuff there, guys. You know, pretty scary. You know, there's another guy in here. I have to bring something up. We have Jesse Hall in here. His father just passed away. So we're all thinking of you, you know, certainly through these tough times. It's definitely never a good feeling. So we're definitely all thinking of you right now.
For sure.
And just keep your head up. You know, it's tough times all the way around the book here.
It is.
This show is supposed to be positive and feel good, but Jesus, it's like this is terrible. So
Ryan, though, it's real. This is real. This is real life.
It is.
You know, this is. I mean, sometimes life is hard, and sometimes life isn't. You know,
right.
But you just got to keep on keeping on, regardless.
So
it's tough.
What is your guys' thought? How do you think? Just a prediction, since none of us have ever been here. Okay, not one of us have ever gone through this in our lifetime. Hopefully, we get it over with and don't have to deal with it again. What is your prediction from after we clear all this and things are getting somewhat better? What is your prediction in the market? We're going to start with Trey.
Oh, thank you for that. No, my prediction. Here is my prediction. There is 4 other coronaviruses on record. This virus is officially called SARS-2. On everywhere else besides the U.S. media, it's SARS-2. We can kind of sort of predict what it's going to do, sort of. We don't know, so nobody's going to say anything, but sort of. I believe that the summer is going to bring much more UV rays, which kills all viruses, bacteria, everything, right? So I believe this will be seasonal. I believe that this is going to come back in the fall. I mean, it's going to come back in the fall, winter, just like every other seasonal flu does. That's what I think. I think it's going to be an early hurricane season, June, July, which is the end of hail season. So that's what I predict as far as what's going to happen in the market that I watch.
Yeah.
I mean, that's honestly what I think. I mean, what happens if hail season's over in July because hurricane season's here? People should know this. I mean, that's what's being predicted right now is that it's going to be the worst hurricane season in a long time. There's going to be between 7 and 9 meaningful hurricane events starting in late June. If we clear this up by late May, that leaves a very short hail season.
Yeah.
That's what I think. That's not, I don't mean to be morbid or down or negative or anything. That's the reality, right? But every one of us have a choice now to prepare for that future, and we can change our own reality. Okay.
What is your advice for these guys that are out there right now?
My advice to the guys that are out there right now, Hail or not hail? Brick and mortar or hell chaser?
Whatever. Either one, we're all in the same shit box.
We are in the same shit box, but there's a different solution.
Very true. Why don't you do your specialty, which is hail?
My specialty is hail. I come from a brick and mortar background. My father has never chased hail. I grew up in Lubbock, Texas, and Lubbock, Texas is on lockdown right now. After a pretty decent hailstorm. I think that there's going to be a dramatic change in the way everything works. Dealerships are closed right now. So it doesn't matter if you're a brick and mortar or hell chaser, dealerships are closed.
Yeah.
Retail shops are closed. If you're not a body shops are essential, PDR shops are not. Okay. So if this thing kicks up in September, October, November, that's the reality.
Yeah.
Okay. I worked in South Africa, which is a very different culture. And what I can tell you is I did well in a place that most people didn't. So as far as hail goes, people have to have their hail cars fixed. They do. But not everybody has to have their dents fixed.
No.
Right? I mean, that's just logical. I mean, what I saw in South Africa, I mean, this is not a popular view, and I know it's not. And I hate to even say it. Okay, I really do. But insurance money is economic proof money.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, right now, body shops have the advantage over dealerships, which is crazy. I mean, it's a crazy time.
Yeah.
You know. So, I mean, I don't know what the future predicts for our industry, but I do know that this year will be a year for the books.
Yeah.
I do know that, and I do know that everybody who has a little bit of foresight and I know the tough ones will survive. This is survivor's culture.
Yeah.
You know, this is what it is. It is what it is.
Yeah.
And I'm very, very sorry for everybody who is suffering right now and who is going to suffer in the future, myself included. I mean, I don't even know if I'm going to have a hail season. This is real. Hannah and I are sitting here talking about what we're going to do this hail season and all the stuff we're going to do. Boom, out the window.
Yes. We talked about that today.
I'm talking about gone. Like literally gone. We're in the process of buying a prominent business and it's gone. Woo! Toodles. Okay. So, I mean, really.
Keep track of it, Zach.
Yeah, Zach's asking if there's a lot of lingering hail left over.
Well, you know, it doesn't matter if you can't get out of your house.
Yeah.
Right?
How many people are going to keep those checks?
A lot.
You know what, though? There's a way around that, too. I promise you, John, there's a way to profit from that, too.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. I mean, if you remember after 2008, the used car market went
100%
the roof. So there's always going to be an angle. And
yes,
we're going to have to be cognizant of what that angle is going to be. And we're going to have to watch the new car market. We're going to have to watch the used car market. We're going to have to see where everything is going. But
adapt and overcome.
Yeah.
It's all about the shift.
That's
what
it.
I say. You're constantly in business. I don't give a shit what business you're in. If you're in restaurant, if you're in tool manufacturing,
right.
It's always a shift. Doesn't matter. If there's a massive snowstorm out here and there's 10 feet of snow, your restaurant's going to be closed.
That's right.
Adapt and overcome.
That's it.
That's all. That is all you can do. Okay. I mean, and I know I have a positive outlook on life, but I'll be exceptionally real with you right now. I have bills paid through July, and that's it.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, that's it. I don't know what happens past that, but what I do know is that Hannah and I have the skill set to survive. Not only survive, but thrive. We will adapt and overcome no matter what happens. I don't care if the hail car doesn't get fixed between now until next year.
Yeah.
I don't care. We are going to survive and thrive some way. We're going to keep a positive attitude. We're going to have joy and happiness, even through all of this. I've been homeless. I shit you not. I was homeless for a year and a half. Okay. And I had a good time. And everybody's like, oh, you had a good time being homeless? No, I didn't. But while I was homeless, I had a good time. I mean, you don't have to curb your joy because of the shit situation you're in.
Nope.
You know, you can have happiness and joy and peace and hope, even though you're in a fucking terrible situation. So that's my encouragement to everybody else, that no matter what happens, Keith, and listen, Keith is not the first one, Ryan. You and I both know that Keith is the first, but damn sure not the last.
Yep.
And it's going to hurt.
You know what my wife said to me today? She said, she looks at me and she goes, we're all going to get it.
Yes.
She goes, I just want to be on the second round. You know, so.
And Ryan, that's
second, third, fourth. I mean, count me in for round 5 because by that time, we should have some sort of treatment and or cure by then.
You're getting a little close. You got to back up just a little bit. You're getting a little close. So, I mean, what is your guys' input here? You know, the other guys that are here.
Matt?
Yeah, I mean, what's your input here? How are you going to stay positive throughout the whole process?
Go ahead, Mark.
For me to be positive it's just not hard to do. Like I said before, I'll keep stuff to keep my mind busy. You know, I'll stay physically active here at my house. You just adapt. So I've been around, you know, PDR tools pretty much my whole life. You know, I don't push dents for a living, but I know a lot about it. So all you guys here have been around long enough to know that this thing, you know, it's not a steady incline. This thing's up and down.
Yeah.
It's a niche business. There's good and bad hail years. So we're all kind of prepared for this anyway, I feel like, if you've been in this long enough. So, like Trey said, hey, if it's not building tools, I mean, there's going to be plenty of other things to do. It's just, you know, plan ahead, stay positive, and it'll all work out. It's a day at a time right now for me.
Brandy told me 2 things about you. You're really good at PB&Js, and you can crochet the shit out of a sweater.
I don't know.
Mark,
Glen crocheted man. I will buy the first one. Sign
there we go.
Can you crochet a
pretty little bee on the front there?
It's all about the shift, Mark. See
that's right. I don't know who you've been talking to, but I can't.
I heard those PB&Js are off the hook.
PB&J I can do, but crochet, I don't know. You never know though, mate. This is a good time to take it up, huh?
Hey, the first one will be called the Shut Ups.
There we go. Maybe
so
I need
to get into Mr. Matt from Get a Grip over there. His light seemed to settle down on him. He looks like he's in a drive-through window right now.
Hey, you know, it's getting dark over here. Yeah, we still had sunlight. That was the trick. Natural light is the best light. And
you're fine. You actually, the lighting's actually pretty good, so you're good.
You know, same thing with Trey, you know, preparing like Mark was saying, but we'll survive this.
Yeah.
We're gonna come out stronger. We're definitely gonna be a different you know, country. You know, things are gonna be different, but I mean, there's positives to it. You know, you're going to spend more time with your loved ones and family. But it's, you know, something that you just don't get to do, you know, when you're working every day and you're going to events and stuff like that. What I've noticed in my local area, though, like in my neighborhood, there's a lot of people walking, you know.
Yeah.
The weather's good over here for the most part. We do have some rain the last couple of weeks, but for the most part, a lot of people are out walking. You know, there's not really much you can do, so people go out and walk. So it looks like there's people seem a little bit more clear. You know, it's kind of something that would happen, you know, similar to like 9/11. You know,
yeah,
it's stronger as a nation.
Sure.
But I don't know. Hopefully Trey's wrong on his prediction about it coming back. I sure hope that doesn't happen. But
It's probably
I do
gonna
think
happen.
once the numbers stop, rising, and the numbers start declining, I'm sure they're gonna start, having restaurants and stuff like that open. But I think there will be a spike again, a little bit of a spike once people start congregating together. So I am prepared for that, but I'm hoping it's not a whole new wave. But yeah, hang in there. It's more of a we, not me kind of mentality. You got to think like that.
Sure.
Not being so selfish. But I
Sure.
definitely think there's going to be some major positives out of this. The way we interact with people and treat each other. So.
Yes.
No, there's definitely going to be a lot of positives, but we're going to learn a lot and be more. This might be something that happens again.
I can tell you a profession right now that I think I'm going to start homeschooling myself is divorce lawyer. Because that's where the money's going to be right after this whole thing is over with.
So real.
Yeah.
Wow.
Ah!
Feels about that. Oh no.
So we got Mr. Reaper up next. Just keep your distance, please.
Back up.
Backing up. I'm backing up. Listen.
Tell me.
Trey, love you. You're wrong. We are amongst the smartest people in the world. I mean, Elon Musk is talking about building ventilators. Everybody's pitching in from all over the country, all over the world, and we're gonna figure this thing out. And it's gonna be, who are you yelling at? It's gonna be something that we figure out. And it's
you see my wife in here? I don't mean to cut you off. You see this little comment in here?
Actually, shut up.
The shut up boat over here in my garage. So
Oh,
in the garage.
You sound like Winnie Rib.
Two things I want to mention. I don't mean to cut you off, but I don't want to forget to say it. We've got Stucky Tools doing some ventilator parts.
Love
We've got
Carl.
Chad
very
from
cool.
Endeavor Tools building some face masks. That's how special our industry is.
Very cool.
That's the real life shit. Let's get back into John Vadine. I didn't mean to cut you off, but I will forget.
Yeah, well, I already forgot what I was saying. Other than the fact that, like Carl, I mean, if you have Carl Stuckey and Chad from Endeavor working on these problems, we're going to get it figured out, guys. So, yeah, it's going to be a significant speed bump.
Back up, sir.
It's not going to be a little speed bump. It's a significant speed bump already. And it's probably going to get worse before it gets better.
Yeah.
Would you agree, Hannah?
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is, you can't keep an entire human race down. You can't keep this entire human race down. And now we have one common enemy. One common enemy amongst what are we at? 8 billion people? 8 billion people? One virus?
China
stands no chance. Stands no chance. COVID-19, you got it from me. The Reaper's coming for you. We're killing this. We're killing it. And it's never coming back. That's how I feel.
Thanks, John.
The Reaper took the show. Look at that. Look at that.
Love that. Yeah. Love that.
Well, look, guys, I all really appreciate you coming on here. I wanted to do something a little different. We had some amazing numbers and a lot of comments. It was good. If you guys have anything else you want to chime in before we get off this, and I can lay in my bed now, right from the.
I want to address Zach Blue, and he said automotive. Yeah, I'm not considering essential stop. They're not. So basically, there's a lot of interpretation when it comes to Homeland Security's definition of automotive repair facilities. Okay, so logically, one would think, and this is the way it is in Lubbock currently, body shops are essential. PDR shops are not. Why? Because body shops have to do with straightening frames, getting cars back on the road. PDR does not. So mechanical and body shops are considered essential. PDR shops are not considered in Lubbock. To me, that makes logical sense. Even though my dad owns a PDR-only shop in Lubbock, that makes logical sense to me. Okay, so if you're in an area that your PDR shop registered as a body shop, then probably you're considered essential.
Exactly, Matt.
Yes. Well, we are cosmetic. That's a fact. That's not, I mean, sorry to burst the bubble, but you don't have to have us to drive on the road.
Yeah.
Cars are considered essential. Dents are not.
And that's been the argument. You know, we're essential automotive here, and all of my dealerships, all of my body shops are open.
Yeah.
And I went to some of the owners and I was like, originally I said Friday, and I said, Friday's my last day. And they're like, what do you mean? And I was like,
God, it's tough.
It's a dent, dude. Like,
that's fucking tough.
I rode a hail car this week that I'm not going to fix. $3,200 hail car. Why are you bringing hail cars in? It's a drivable vehicle.
That's tough.
It is what it is.
That's tough,
It is
Ryan.
what it is.
It is what it is, Ryan, but it's still tough.
Yeah.
That's fucking when your competition can stay open and you can't.
100%.
About.
Yep. And that's the hardest decision that I made was
can or will.
What's that?
The difference, can or will. And Ryan's doing the right thing, and anybody that is chilling right now is probably doing the right thing. And there's going to be people that are going to get a buck or two along the way, taking advantage of guys that are doing the right thing. And when it all comes out in the wash and, you know, our super geniuses take care of us, the guys that did the right thing are probably gonna see the benefits of doing the right thing, because doing the right thing is always the right thing.
Yeah.
You know, it was tough. I laid in bed 11 o'clock on Tuesday, and I sat here because we were working every other day, so I wanted to limit. And that's all I really do. I have one dealer. I service 150 body shops.
That's tough.
And we're slammed. And I laid in bed and I looked at my wife and I said, I don't know what to do.
No,
this is my life. Like, I could lose everything. I could lose every account from here out for the next 3 weeks. I have really good relationships. I'm big on the relationship building.
Yeah.
But it's hard for me to swallow. My biggest thing in RPS was customer service and quality. Yep. Customer service came before the quality. And I've worked so hard. I looked at her and I said, all these nights that I've worked late and weekends and all that didn't mean a damn thing. But you know what?
It did.
I'm doing the right thing.
You are.
Because at the end of the day, when these guys, after all this shit clears and I show back up and they're using somebody else, you weren't my customer anyway.
That's exactly right.
There you go.
Fuck them.
So there goes the parental rights. At least you got it over with at the very end.
I will bet on you starting from zero every time.
Hey, I'm ready. I was bored. That's how I look at this. I was bored. I'm ready to get out there and knock on some doors and get my teeth kicked in. I'm ready.
Right.
Love it. Love it.
So look, guys, anything else? No? Quiet farm over here? I appreciate you guys coming on. It was a great show. Some really good information. You know, some ugly faces. And damn, John, you've gotten way too close for me. But remember, guys, you know, keep it real out there. This is some real life shit.
It is.
Make sure you take the precautions, wear gloves, wipe the cars down, and keep it real. You know, that's it. And please be safe. If you have any questions or you just want to talk, I got all the damn time in the world. The only good thing I got is we're gonna slam out some media. So you guys better buckle up because it's
I got
coming.
you, Ryan. I got you, Ryan.
So
Oh, snap.
remember, guys, keep it real.
Keep it real.
And I will see you guys next week. See you guys. Thank you.
Thanks,
Great,
guys.
Hannah.